the rise of Kurma, the tortoise who held the world. In the celestial realms, an uneasy alliance was formed between the Devas, the gods, and the Asuras, the demons, setting the stage for an epic event in the cosmic saga. They gathered at the edge of the ocean of milk, a vast, luminescent expanse under a twilight sky, preparing for an undertaking of unparalleled scale. At the heart of this milky ocean stood Mount Mandara, chosen to serve as the churning rod in their monumental effort to obtain the nectar of immortality. The majestic serpent Vasuki offered himself as a rope, coiling around Mount Mandara, with gods and demons positioned on opposite ends. A tangible tension filled the air. As the churning began, the mountain started to sink, threatening the entire endeavor until Kurma, the tortoise Avatar of Vishnu, emerged from the depths. With serene grace, he positioned himself beneath the mountain, supporting it on his back, stabilizing the churning rod and ensuring the continuation of their task. As the churning intensified, the ocean of milk began to froth and swirl, signaling the emergence of divine treasures from its depths. The first to appear was Mohini, the wish-granting divine cow, surrounded by a mystical aura, her presence greeted by celestial beings with awe. Following her, the majestic white horse with a glowing mane, emerged, capturing the attention of all with his radiant beauty. The appearance of Amrita, the divine white elephant, spraying water in joy, added to the celebration. Soon after, the Kalpavriksha, the wish-fulfilling tree, rose, its branches heavy with celestial fruits and flowers. The emergence of goddess Lakshmi on a lotus, blessing the onlookers with her beauty and wealth, marked a high point in the cosmic event. Amidst these wonders, a critical moment arrived when Lord Shiva consumed the deadly Halahala poison, his throat turning blue, an act that earned him the name Nilakantha. His sacrifice was met with concern and admiration from the gathered gods and goddesses. The climax approached as Dhanvantari, the divine physician, emerged holding the pot of Amrita, the nectar of immortality. This precious elixir attracted the attention of both Devas and Asuras, leading to the appearance of Mohini, Vishnu's enchanting female avatar. Her beauty captivated everyone, setting the stage for the ultimate act of divine deception. As Mohini began distributing the nectar, a subtle moment of deceit unfolded, ensuring the immortality of the Devas. The Asuras, realizing the trickery, erupted in rage, sparking a fierce battle. The cosmic conflict escalated until Vishnu, in his original form, intervened, displaying his divine power and securing victory for the Devas. The saga concluded with the Devas celebrating their hard-won immortality, the nectar of Amrita safely among them. The final scene returned to Kurma, who quietly submerged back into the ocean of milk, leaving behind a universe restored to balance. This tale, etched in the annals of cosmic lore, symbolizes the eternal cycle of creation and preservation, a testament to the enduring power of divine will and the intricate balance that sustains the cosmos.